This is Mental Forge, where weakness burns and warriors are built. There's a moment that happens every single morning at exactly 4:59 a.m. It's the moment when your alarm goes off and your entire future hangs in the balance. In that split second, you make a decision that will either propel you toward the life of your dreams or keep you trapped in the same cycle of mediocrity that has held you back for years. This is the moment when millionaires are made or broken, when empires rise or fall, when ordinary people transform into extraordinary forces of nature. What if I told you that the difference between living paycheck to paycheck and building generational wealth could be as simple as what you do in the first hour of your day? What if the secret to unlocking unlimited potential, unshakable confidence, and magnetic success wasn't hidden in some complex formula, but was waiting for you every morning at 5 a.m.? Today, we're going to dive deep into the 5 a.m. Millionaire routine that has created more wealth, transformed more lives, and generated more success stories than any other single practice in human history. This isn't just about waking up early. This is about rewiring your entire existence, reprogramming your subconscious mind, and stepping into a version of yourself that you didn't even know was possible. By the end of this journey together, you're going to understand exactly how to build unshakable belief in yourself, how to kill fear through repetition and vision, how to rewire your subconscious with power and purpose, and how to live from faith instead of fear. You're going to become a person of decision, focus, and identity. You're going to develop personal power and resilience that nothing can break. You're going to master mental discipline and self-mastery. You're going to think strategically about wealth building. You're going to gain crystal clear vision and definite purpose. You're going to adopt a wealth-oriented mindset that attracts abundance like a magnet. You're going to embody moral strength and inner integrity. And most importantly, you're going to build a lifelong growth framework that makes you disciplined in thought, clear in vision, strong in values, bold in action, unstoppable in growth, free in mind, rich in soul, and abundant in results. This transformation begins with understanding one fundamental truth that most people never grasp. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your mornings. The richest, most successful, most fulfilled people on earth have discovered that by conquering the first hour of their day, they gain the power to conquer their entire existence. Benjamin Franklin understood this principle over 2 centuries ago. Rising at 4 a.m. every morning, Franklin would spend his early hours planning his day, setting his intentions, and asking himself the most important question any human being can ask. What good shall I do this day? This simple morning ritual helped Franklin become one of the most successful inventors, businessmen, diplomats, and thinkers in human history. He understood that the mind is most receptive to programming in those quiet morning hours, when the world is still asleep and your consciousness is transitioning from the dream state to full awareness. The neuroscience behind this is absolutely fascinating. During the first hour after waking, your brain operates in what scientists call the alpha and theta frequencies. These are the same brainwave states that hypnotists use to implant suggestions directly into the subconscious mind. This means that whatever you feed your mind during this sacred morning hour gets programmed directly into your unconscious programming system, the same system that controls 95% of your thoughts, decisions, and actions throughout the day. Think about the implications of this for just a moment. If you can control what goes into your subconscious mind during this critical window, you can literally reprogram yourself for success, wealth, confidence, and achievement. This is why the 5 a.m. routine isn't just a productivity hack. It's a complete life transformation system. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think waking up early is about grinding harder or working more hours. That's not what this is about at all. This is about working on yourself before you work on anything else. This is about becoming the person who naturally attracts the life you want, instead of chasing after it with desperation and struggle. The 5 a.m. Millionaire routine is built on 5 foundational pillars that create what I call the success trinity: mind, body, and spirit alignment. When these 3 elements are perfectly aligned and working in harmony, you become an unstoppable force of nature. You develop what Napoleon Hill called burning desire, and what the ancient Stoics referred to as invincible will. The first pillar is mindset mastery. This is where you take complete control over your mental programming and begin to think like the person you're destined to become. The second pillar is physical vitality, where you build the energy and strength necessary to execute on your vision with relentless intensity. The third pillar is spiritual connection, where you tap into the infinite intelligence and creative power that exists within you and around you. The fourth pillar is strategic planning, where you design your day and your life with the precision of a master architect. And the fifth pillar is identity transformation, where you literally become a different person at the cellular level. Let me share with you the story of a young man who discovered the power of the 5 a.m. routine and used it to build a billion-dollar empire. His name was Sam Walton, and before he became the founder of Walmart, he was just a small-town kid with big dreams and very limited resources. But Sam understood something that most people never learn. He knew that success isn't about having the perfect conditions or the right connections or even the most money to start with. Success is about having the right habits and the discipline to execute those habits consistently, especially when you don't feel like it. Every morning at 5 a.m., Sam would wake up and spend the first hour of his day studying his competitors, analyzing market trends, and visualizing the expansion of his business empire. He would write in his journal, meditate on his goals, and program his mind with affirmations and success principles. By the time the rest of the world was waking up, Sam had already done the inner work that would make him one of the richest men in history. This is the power of what I call earning the day. When you wake up at 5 a.m. and invest the first hour in yourself, you earn the right to succeed. You build what the ancient Greeks called arete, which means excellence of character. You develop the inner strength and mental fortitude that makes you virtually unstoppable in the pursuit of your goals. Now, let me walk you through the exact 5 a.m. millionaire routine that has been tested and proven by thousands of successful entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, and leaders around the world. This isn't theory. This is a practical, step-by-step system that you can start implementing tomorrow morning. The routine begins at exactly 5 a.m., not 5:05, not 5:10, but exactly 5 a.m. The reason for this precision is that your subconscious mind responds to consistency and discipline. When you commit to waking up at the exact same time every single day, you send a powerful message to your unconscious programming system that you are a person who keeps commitments to yourself. This builds what psychologists call self-efficacy, which is your belief in your ability to achieve your goals. The moment you wake up, resist the temptation to check your phone, read the news, or engage with any external stimuli. Remember, this first hour belongs to you and your development. The outside world can wait. Right now, you're working on becoming the person who can handle whatever the outside world throws at you. Start with what I call the gratitude gateway. Before your feet even hit the floor, while you're still lying in bed, take 3 deep breaths and identify 3 specific things you're grateful for. But here's the key. Don't just think about them, feel them. Let the emotion of gratitude flood through your entire body. Neuroscientists have discovered that the emotion of gratitude literally rewires your brain for positivity and abundance. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reduces cortisol levels, and increases the production of dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals responsible for happiness and motivation. As you're experiencing this gratitude, mentally rehearse your identity as a successful person. See yourself as someone who is already living the life you desire. Feel what it feels like to be that person. This isn't just positive thinking. This is a specific neuroplasticity technique that creates new neural pathways in your brain, making your success identity more accessible and automatic. Now, get out of bed with intention and purpose. Don't stumble around like most people do. Move with the confidence and energy of someone who owns their life. Walk to your designated success space, whether that's a home office, a corner of your bedroom, or even just a specific chair where you do your morning routine. The key is consistency. Your subconscious mind loves rituals and patterns. The next phase is what I call vision immersion. This is where you spend 10 to 15 minutes completely immersing yourself in your vision of your ideal life. But you're not just daydreaming. You're using a specific visualization technique that programs your reticular activating system, the part of your brain that filters information and determines what you notice in your environment. Close your eyes and create a detailed mental movie of your life as you want it to be. See yourself living in your dream home, driving your dream car, having the relationships you desire, making the impact you want to make in the world. But most importantly, see yourself as the type of person who naturally attracts and maintains this lifestyle. See yourself making decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. See yourself handling challenges with grace and confidence. See yourself inspiring others and making a positive difference in the world. The key to effective visualization is engaging all of your senses. Don't just see your success, hear it, feel it, smell it, taste it. Make it so real in your mind that your subconscious begins to believe it's already happening. When your subconscious believes something is real, it will automatically guide your thoughts, decisions, and actions toward making it a reality. As you're visualizing, pay attention to how this successful version of yourself thinks and feels. What beliefs does this person hold? What daily habits do they practice? How do they handle setbacks and challenges? What kind of energy do they bring to every situation? This is crucial because you're not just visualizing external success, you're programming yourself with the internal characteristics that create that success. After your visualization, it's time for what I call affirmation integration. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Affirmations can seem cheesy or ineffective if you've tried them before without results. But here's what most people get wrong about affirmations. They recite generic, one-size-fits-all statements that have no emotional connection to their specific goals and dreams. Effective affirmations are personal, specific, and emotionally charged. They should be statements that make you feel excited, confident, and empowered when you say them. They should be crafted in the present tense, as if your success is already happening. And they should be repeated with conviction and feeling, not just mumbled mindlessly. Here are some examples of powerful affirmations that you can customize for your specific situation. I am a magnet for wealth and abundance, and money flows to me easily and consistently. I make decisions quickly and confidently because I trust my intuition and my ability to create the results I desire. I am grateful for my unlimited potential and my ability to transform any challenge into an opportunity for growth. I radiate confidence, success, and positive energy, and people are naturally drawn to work with me and support my vision. I am disciplined in my thoughts, consistent in my actions, and unstoppable in my pursuit of excellence. The key is to choose affirmations that resonate with you personally and to repeat them with genuine emotion and conviction. Your subconscious mind responds to feeling, not just words. So as you're speaking these affirmations, feel them in your body. Let them generate excitement, confidence, and determination within you. If you're enjoying this transformational content and you want to stay connected with more life-changing strategies and success principles, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. We're building a community of like-minded individuals who are committed to excellence and personal growth. And I want to make sure you don't miss any of the powerful content we're creating to help you become the best version of yourself. After your affirmations, it's time to engage in what I call strategic journaling. This isn't just writing down your thoughts and feelings. This is a specific, success-focused journaling practice that clarifies your vision, identifies your priorities, and programs your mind for achievement. Start by writing down your number one goal for the day, not your top 5 goals, not your wish list, but your single most important objective. This practice forces you to think strategically about what really matters and prevents you from spreading your energy too thin across multiple priorities. Next, write down 3 specific actions you will take today to move closer to your long-term vision. These should be actions that directly contribute to your biggest goals and dreams, not just busy work or routine tasks. By identifying these actions in the morning, you ensure that no matter what else happens during the day, you will make meaningful progress toward your most important objectives. Then, write down one potential challenge or obstacle you might face today and exactly how you will handle it. This mental rehearsal prepares your mind for difficulties and prevents you from being derailed by unexpected problems. Success isn't about avoiding challenges, it's about being prepared to handle them with grace and determination. Finally, write down one way you will grow or improve today. This could be a book you'll read, a skill you'll practice, a person you'll learn from, or a habit you'll strengthen. Successful people are committed to continuous improvement, and this daily growth practice ensures that you're constantly evolving and expanding your capabilities. The journaling process should take about 10 to 15 minutes, and it should be done by hand whenever possible. There's something powerful about the physical act of writing that enhances the programming effect on your subconscious mind. Plus, writing by hand slows down your thinking process and allows for deeper reflection and insight. Now comes one of the most crucial parts of the 5 a.m. routine: physical activation. Your body and mind are intimately connected, and you cannot achieve peak mental performance without taking care of your physical energy and vitality. This doesn't mean you need to spend an hour in the gym every morning, although that's certainly beneficial if you have the time. What it means is that you need to activate your cardiovascular system, increase your energy levels, and prime your body for a day of high performance. The minimum effective dose for physical activation is just 10 to 15 minutes of movement that gets your heart rate elevated and your blood flowing. This could be a quick bodyweight workout, a brisk walk around your neighborhood, some yoga stretches, or even dancing to your favorite music. The key is to choose something that you enjoy and that makes you feel energized and alive. Physical exercise in the morning has profound effects on your brain chemistry and cognitive function. It increases the production of BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is like Miracle-Gro for your brain cells. It enhances neuroplasticity, improves memory and learning, and increases your ability to focus and concentrate throughout the day. Exercise also releases endorphins, natural mood elevators that create feelings of happiness and well-being. But perhaps most importantly, morning exercise builds mental toughness and self-discipline. When you push yourself to move your body, even when you don't feel like it, you're strengthening your willpower muscle. You're proving to yourself that you can do hard things, that you can override your immediate impulses in service of your long-term goals. This mental strength carries over into every other area of your life. During your physical activation, practice what I call power breathing. This is a specific breathing technique that oxygenates your brain, reduces stress hormones, and activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Take deep breaths in through your nose for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and exhale through your mouth for a count of 8. This 4-4-8 breathing pattern has been scientifically proven to reduce anxiety, increase focus, and improve decision-making ability. As you're exercising and breathing, continue to reinforce your success identity. See yourself as someone who takes care of their body, someone who has unlimited energy and vitality, someone who approaches challenges with strength and confidence. Remember, everything you do during this morning routine is programming your subconscious mind and building your identity as a successful person. The final component of the physical activation phase is what I call energy optimization. This involves making conscious choices about what you put into your body to fuel your success. Start your day with clean, pure water to hydrate your system and flush out toxins. Consider adding a squeeze of fresh lemon, which alkalizes your body and provides vitamin C for immune system support. If you drink coffee or tea, make it a ritual rather than just a habit. Use this time to set intentions for your day and appreciate the simple pleasure of a warm, delicious beverage. Avoid checking your phone or consuming negative media while you're drinking your morning beverage. This is still part of your sacred morning routine, and you want to protect your mental state from external disruptions. Now we move into what might be the most powerful part of the entire 5 a.m. routine: spiritual connection. This doesn't necessarily mean you need to be religious, although if you are, this is a perfect time to connect with your faith. Spiritual connection is about tapping into something larger than yourself, accessing the infinite intelligence and creative power that exists within and around you. This is the time for meditation, prayer, or simply quiet reflection. Even just 5 to 10 minutes of stillness and silence can have profound effects on your mental clarity, emotional stability, and creative insight. In our constantly connected, always-on world, this quiet time becomes even more valuable and necessary. There are many different approaches to meditation, and you should experiment to find what works best for you. You might try focused breathing meditation, where you simply concentrate on your breath and let all other thoughts pass by. You might practice loving-kindness meditation, where you send feelings of love and compassion to yourself and others. You might engage in mindfulness meditation, where you simply observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. Or you might prefer what I call success meditation, where you sit quietly and imagine yourself connected to an infinite source of wisdom, creativity, and abundance. Visualize this energy flowing through you, filling you with confidence, insight, and power. Ask for guidance on your most important challenges and goals, and then listen quietly for answers and inspiration. During this spiritual connection time, many people report receiving their best ideas, having important insights, and feeling a deep sense of peace and purpose. This is because you're accessing what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious, and what others refer to as universal intelligence. You're tapping into a source of wisdom and creativity that goes far beyond your individual mind. The spiritual connection phase is also an excellent time for what I call purpose alignment. Ask yourself deep questions about your life direction and meaning. What is your unique contribution to the world? How can you use your talents and abilities to make a positive impact? What legacy do you want to leave behind? These questions help you stay connected to your deeper purpose and prevent you from getting caught up in shallow pursuits that don't truly fulfill you. As we dive deeper into the 5 a.m. routine, it's important to understand the historical context and proven track record of this practice. Throughout history, the most successful and influential people have been early risers who used their morning hours for personal development and strategic thinking. Consider the story of Ernest Hemingway, one of the greatest writers in human history. Hemingway would wake up at dawn every single day and immediately begin writing. He understood that his mind was clearest and most creative in the early morning hours, before the distractions and demands of the day could interfere with his artistic process. This disciplined morning routine allowed him to produce some of the most powerful and enduring literature ever created. Hemingway also had a fascinating daily practice that every aspiring success story should understand. He would always stop writing in the middle of a sentence when he knew exactly what came next. This meant that when he sat down to write the following morning, he could immediately pick up where he left off, without having to overcome the blank page syndrome. This technique can be applied to any area of life. Always end your work sessions with clear momentum and direction, so you can start the next day with confidence and clarity. Another historical figure who exemplified the power of the early morning routine was Maya Angelou. Despite facing incredible challenges and obstacles throughout her life, Angelou built a disciplined morning practice that included prayer, meditation, reading, and writing. She would wake up early, go to a small, sparsely furnished room that she rented specifically for writing, and work on her craft with complete focus and dedication. Angelou understood that creativity and success require what she called fierce discipline. She knew that inspiration was important, but that discipline was what actually created results. Her morning routine was the foundation that allowed her to become one of the most influential writers, speakers, and civil rights activists of her generation. The lesson from both Hemingway and Angelou is that the morning routine isn't just about productivity or efficiency. It's about creating the optimal conditions for your highest and best work to emerge. It's about protecting your most valuable asset, your mental energy, and directing it toward your most important goals and dreams. Now let's talk about the revolutionary goal-setting system that should be integrated into your 5 a.m. routine. Most people set goals in a way that actually sabotages their success. They create vague, wishy-washy objectives that have no emotional power and no clear path to achievement. They set goals based on what they think they should want, rather than what they actually desire. And they approach goal setting as a one-time event rather than an ongoing process of refinement and recommitment. The Millionaire approach to goal setting is completely different. It's based on what Napoleon Hill discovered during his 25-year study of the most successful people in America. Hill found that every single person who achieved great success had what he called definiteness of purpose. They knew exactly what they wanted. They knew why they wanted it. They had a plan for achieving it, and they thought about it constantly with burning desire and unwavering faith. Your 5 a.m. routine should include a daily goal review and refinement process. This doesn't mean you're changing your goals every day, but rather that you're deepening your connection to them and clarifying your strategy for achieving them. Start by reviewing your major long-term goals and asking yourself 3 critical questions. First, do I still want this goal with burning desire, or have my priorities shifted? Second, what is the next most important action I can take to move closer to this goal? Third, what obstacles or challenges might prevent me from achieving this goal, and how can I overcome or avoid them? This daily goal review keeps your objectives fresh and alive in your mind. It prevents them from becoming stale concepts that you forget about or lose enthusiasm for. And it ensures that you're constantly thinking strategically about the best way to achieve what you want. But here's the advanced technique that most people never learn: emotional goal programming. This involves connecting your goals to powerful emotions and experiences that make them irresistible to your subconscious mind. For each major goal, spend time during your morning routine imagining not just what you'll have when you achieve it, but how you'll feel. What will it feel like to have complete financial freedom? What will it feel like to be in perfect health and physical condition? What will it feel like to have deep, loving, supportive relationships? What will it feel like to be making a meaningful contribution to the world? The more vividly you can imagine and feel these emotions, the more your subconscious mind will work to make them a reality. Your brain cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you consistently program yourself with the emotions of success, your subconscious begins to believe that success is your natural state, and it guides your thoughts and actions accordingly. Thomas Edison, one of the most prolific inventors in human history, understood this principle intuitively. Edison would spend time every morning visualizing his inventions in complete detail. He would imagine how they would work, what they would look like, how people would use them, and what impact they would have on the world. This morning, visualization practice helped him develop over 1,000 patents and create inventions that transformed human civilization. Edison also had another powerful morning practice that every success-minded person should adopt. He would spend time each morning in what he called genius thinking. He would pose challenging questions to his subconscious mind, and then relax and allow answers and insights to emerge naturally. He understood that the conscious mind is limited in its problem-solving ability, but that the subconscious mind has access to infinite intelligence and creativity. You can use this same technique in your 5 a.m. routine. Present your biggest challenges and opportunities to your subconscious mind, and then create space for insights and solutions to emerge. This might happen during meditation, during your walk, or even later in the day when you're focused on something else. The key is to plant the seeds during your morning routine, and then trust your inner wisdom to provide the answers. As we continue building your complete 5 a.m. millionaire routine, we need to address one of the most critical success factors: identity transformation. Most people try to change their results without changing their identity, and this approach never works long-term. Your identity, your sense of who you are at the deepest level, determines your thoughts, decisions, and actions. If you want to create lasting change in your life, you must become a different person at the identity level. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, explains this concept beautifully. He says that every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. When you wake up at 5 a.m., you're voting for the identity of a disciplined person. When you exercise, you're voting for the identity of a healthy person. When you read, you're voting for the identity of a learner. When you journal, you're voting for the identity of a reflective, intentional person. Your 5 a.m. routine is essentially an identity-building ritual. Every single component of the routine is designed to reinforce your identity as a successful, disciplined, growth-oriented person. This is why consistency is so crucial. You're not just trying to be productive, you're literally rewiring your sense of self. During your morning routine, spend time consciously affirming your new identity. Use statements like, "I am the type of person who keeps commitments to myself. I am the type of person who invests in my growth and development. I am the type of person who thinks strategically and acts decisively. I am the type of person who creates value and attracts abundance. I am the type of person who turns obstacles into opportunities." The power of identity-based change is that it makes success feel natural and inevitable rather than forced or artificial. When you truly see yourself as a successful person, you naturally make successful choices. When you identify as a healthy person, you naturally choose healthy foods and exercise regularly. When you see yourself as a leader, you naturally step up and take responsibility in challenging situations. This brings us to another historical example that perfectly illustrates the power of morning routines and identity transformation. The story belongs to Oprah Winfrey, who overcame incredible adversity to become one of the most successful media personalities and entrepreneurs in history. Despite being born into poverty and facing numerous challenges throughout her childhood, Oprah developed a powerful morning routine that included meditation, gratitude practice, intention setting, and personal development reading. She understood that her external circumstances didn't have to determine her internal state or her future possibilities. Every morning, Oprah would spend time connecting with her vision of the person she wanted to become and the impact she wanted to make in the world. She would practice gratitude for what she already had, while simultaneously imagining and feeling her way into a bigger, more successful future. This combination of appreciation and aspiration created a powerful psychological state that attracted opportunities and opened doors that seemed impossible given her starting point. Oprah's morning routine also included what she calls setting intentions. Instead of just hoping for good things to happen, she would consciously direct her energy and attention toward specific outcomes. She would think about the type of energy she wanted to bring to her work, the kind of impact she wanted to have on people, and the legacy she wanted to create. This intentional approach to life helped her make decisions that were aligned with her deepest values and highest aspirations. The lesson from Oprah's story is that your current circumstances don't determine your future possibilities. What determines your future is your ability to consistently show up for yourself, invest in your growth, and maintain an unwavering belief in your potential. The 5 a.m. routine gives you the structure and consistency you need to make this transformation real. Now let's dive into the advanced mental training techniques that should be woven throughout your 5 a.m. routine. Your mind is like a muscle that can be strengthened through consistent training, and the early morning hours provide the perfect environment for this mental conditioning. One of the most powerful mental training techniques is what psychologists call mental rehearsal or visualization practice. This goes beyond the basic goal visualization we discussed earlier. This is about mentally rehearsing specific situations, challenges, and opportunities so that when they arise in real life, you're prepared to handle them with confidence and skill. For example, if you have an important presentation coming up, spend time during your morning routine mentally rehearsing every aspect of the experience. See yourself walking into the room with confidence, connecting with your audience, delivering your content with passion and clarity, and receiving positive feedback. Feel the emotions of success and accomplishment. This mental rehearsal actually creates neural pathways in your brain that make the real experience feel familiar and comfortable. You can use this technique for any situation you want to excel in. Mental rehearsal for difficult conversations, job interviews, sales meetings, athletic performance, creative projects, or any other challenging situation. The key is to make the mental rehearsal as vivid and detailed as possible, engaging all of your senses and emotions. Another crucial mental training technique is what I call obstacle immunization. This involves mentally rehearsing how you'll handle setbacks, rejections, failures, and other challenges that are inevitable on the path to success. Most people try to avoid thinking about potential problems, but this approach leaves them unprepared when difficulties arise. Instead, spend time during your morning routine thinking through various scenarios and planning your responses. How will you handle it if your business idea gets rejected by investors? How will you respond if you don't get the promotion you're working toward? How will you deal with criticism or negative feedback? What will you do if you face a financial setback or health challenge? By mentally rehearsing these scenarios, you build emotional resilience and prevent setbacks from derailing your progress. You develop what Nassim Taleb calls anti-fragility, the ability to actually get stronger and better as a result of stress and adversity. The ancient Stoic philosophers were masters of this technique. They would regularly practice what they called premeditatio malorum, which means premeditation of evils. They would imagine losing their possessions, their health, their loved ones, or their status, not to be pessimistic, but to build emotional strength and appreciate what they had while they had it. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, would spend time each morning preparing his mind for the challenges of leadership and governance. He would remind himself that he would encounter difficult people, frustrating situations, and complex problems, but that he had the power to choose his response to these challenges. This mental preparation helped him become one of the most effective leaders in human history. You can adopt this same approach in your 5 a.m. routine. Spend a few minutes each morning building your mental and emotional strength by rehearsing how you'll handle difficulties with grace, wisdom, and determination. This practice doesn't make you pessimistic, it makes you unshakable. I want to make sure you're getting maximum value from this content, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel and ring that notification bell. We're constantly sharing cutting-edge strategies for success, wealth building, and personal development, and I don't want you to miss any of the powerful content that could transform your life. Your subscription also helps us reach more people who are ready to take their lives to the next level. Let's talk about the science of habit formation and how to make your 5 a.m. routine automatic and effortless. The most successful people in the world don't rely on motivation or willpower to maintain their success habits. They understand the psychology of habit formation and use it to make their desired behaviors automatic and unconscious. According to neuroscientist Anne Grabiel's research at MIT, habits are formed through a neurological loop that consists of 3 parts: a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue triggers the behavior, the routine is the behavior itself, and the reward is what your brain gets from completing the behavior. When this loop is repeated consistently, it becomes automatic and requires very little conscious effort or decision-making. To make your 5 a.m. routine automatic, you need to design powerful cues, enjoyable routines, and meaningful rewards. Your cue might be your alarm going off, the smell of coffee brewing, or simply the time displayed on your clock. The key is to make the cue consistent and unmistakable. Your routine is the 5 a.m. practice itself. The gratitude, visualization, affirmations, journaling, exercise, and spiritual connection. To make this routine more enjoyable and sustainable, focus on the aspects that you find most rewarding and energizing. Maybe you love the quiet solitude of the early morning. Maybe you feel amazing after your workout. Maybe you enjoy the creativity that emerges during journaling. Identify what you love about the routine and amplify those elements. The reward is the feeling of accomplishment, energy, and clarity that comes from completing your morning routine. But you can also add specific rewards to reinforce the habit. Maybe you treat yourself to a special coffee or tea after completing your routine. Maybe you listen to your favorite music during your workout. Maybe you allow yourself to read something enjoyable after your personal development time. Research shows that it takes an average of 66 days to form a new habit, but the time frame can vary significantly depending on the complexity of the behavior and individual differences. The key is to focus on consistency rather than perfection. If you miss a day, don't use it as an excuse to quit. Simply get back on track the next day and keep building momentum. One of the most effective techniques for habit formation is what James Clear calls habit stacking. This involves attaching your new habit to an existing habit that's already automatic. For example, after I pour my first cup of coffee, I will sit down and write in my gratitude journal. Or, after I finish brushing my teeth, I will do 10 push-ups. This technique leverages the neural pathways of existing habits to make new behaviors more automatic. You can also use environmental design to make your 5 a.m. routine easier and more automatic. Set out your workout clothes the night before. Keep your journal and pen in a visible location. Prepare your meditation space. Remove barriers and friction that might prevent you from following through on your routine. The compound effect of these daily habits is absolutely extraordinary. Small, consistent actions might seem insignificant in the moment, but they create massive results over time. The person who invests 1 hour each morning in personal development will have invested 365 hours by the end of the year. That's equivalent to 9 full work weeks dedicated exclusively to becoming a better version of yourself. Now let's explore the financial mindset programming that should be integrated into your 5 a.m. routine. Building wealth isn't just about making more money or finding better investment opportunities. It's about developing the mental framework that naturally attracts and maintains abundance. Most people have been unconsciously programmed with a scarcity mindset around money. They believe that money is scarce, hard to come by, and that wealthy people are somehow different or more deserving than they are. These limiting beliefs create self-sabotage patterns that prevent them from recognizing opportunities, taking appropriate risks, and building lasting wealth. Your 5 a.m. routine is the perfect time to reprogram these limiting beliefs and install a wealth consciousness that serves your financial goals. Start by examining your current beliefs about money. Do you believe that money is hard to earn? Do you think that wanting wealth makes you greedy or selfish? Do you feel guilty about having financial ambitions? These beliefs, even if unconscious, will sabotage your wealth-building efforts. During your morning routine, consciously replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Affirm statements like, "Money flows to me easily and abundantly because I provide tremendous value to others. I deserve to be wealthy because I use my resources to make a positive impact in the world. The more money I have, the more good I can do for myself, my family, and my community. Opportunities to create wealth are everywhere, and I have the skills and intelligence to recognize and act on them." But affirmations alone aren't enough. You need to understand the fundamental principles that govern wealth creation and integrate them into your daily thinking. The first principle is that money is simply a medium of exchange for value. The more value you create for others, the more money you can attract. This shifts your focus from trying to get money to trying to give value, which is a much more powerful and sustainable approach. The second principle is that wealth is created through ownership, not just employment. While having a job can provide income and security, true wealth comes from owning assets that generate passive income. This might include real estate, businesses, stocks, intellectual property, or other investments that work for you even when you're not actively working. The third principle is that money multiplies through compound interest and reinvestment. Albert Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, saying, "He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it." Even small amounts of money, when invested consistently over time, can grow into substantial wealth through the power of compounding. During your 5 a.m. routine, spend time thinking strategically about how you can apply these principles in your life. How can you increase the value you provide to others? What skills or knowledge can you develop that would make you more valuable in the marketplace? What assets could you start building or acquiring? How can you maximize the compound growth of your investments? This brings us to the story of Andrew Carnegie, one of the wealthiest people in American history, and a perfect example of how morning routines and wealth consciousness work together. Carnegie was born into poverty in Scotland and immigrated to America as a child. Despite having very little formal education, he developed a disciplined morning routine that included reading, learning, and strategic thinking about business opportunities. Every morning, Carnegie would wake up early and spend time studying the industries he was involved in, learning from successful people, and planning his business strategies. He understood that knowledge was power, and he was committed to continuously expanding his understanding of business, economics, and human nature. Carnegie also had a fascinating wealth mindset that set him apart from other businessmen of his era. He believed that the purpose of accumulating wealth was to use it for the betterment of society. He famously said, "The man who dies rich dies disgraced," and he gave away the vast majority of his fortune to build libraries, schools, and other institutions that would benefit future generations. This philanthropic mindset actually helped Carnegie become wealthier, not poorer. When you approach money with the intention of using it to make a positive impact, you remove the psychological barriers that prevent many people from achieving financial success. You eliminate the guilt, fear, and limiting beliefs that keep people stuck in scarcity thinking. You can adopt this same approach in your 5 a.m. routine. Spend time thinking about how you'll use your wealth to make a positive difference in the world. Maybe you want to support your family, contribute to causes you care about, create jobs for others, or fund innovative solutions to global problems. When your wealth-building efforts are connected to a larger purpose, they become more compelling and sustainable. The morning routine should also include what I call abundance visualization. This is different from general success visualization because it focuses specifically on your relationship with money and abundance. Close your eyes and imagine yourself in a state of complete financial freedom. Feel what it's like to never worry about money again. Imagine being able to be generous with others without any concern about your own security. Picture yourself making financial decisions from a place of abundance rather than fear. As you're visualizing this financial freedom, pay attention to the person you would need to become to maintain this level of wealth. What kind of mindset would this person have? How would they approach business opportunities? How would they handle money? What daily habits would they practice? This exercise helps you develop the identity and characteristics that naturally create and maintain wealth. Now let's dive into the leadership development component that should be woven throughout your 5 a.m. routine. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an employee, a parent, or simply someone who wants to have a positive influence in the world, developing leadership skills is essential for achieving your biggest goals and making your greatest contribution. Leadership isn't about having a title or being in charge of other people. True leadership is about influence, inspiration, and the ability to create positive change in any situation. It's about developing the character, competence, and confidence that naturally draws people to follow your vision and support your mission. Your 5 a.m. routine is the perfect time to work on developing these leadership qualities. Start by reading biographies and books about great leaders throughout history. Study how they thought, how they made decisions, how they handled challenges, and how they inspired others to achieve great things. Learn from their successes and their failures. But more importantly, spend time during your morning routine working on your own character development. Leadership is fundamentally about character. People follow leaders they trust, respect, and believe in. This means you must be committed to honesty, integrity, courage, and service to others. Ask yourself challenging questions during your morning routine. Am I living according to my stated values? Am I being honest with myself and others? Am I taking responsibility for my actions and results? Am I serving others or just serving myself? Am I growing and improving, or am I becoming complacent? These questions help you stay aligned with the character traits that create authentic leadership. One of the most important leadership skills you can develop is decision-making. Leaders are people who can make good decisions quickly, even with incomplete information. They understand that making no decision is often worse than making an imperfect decision. They're willing to take calculated risks and accept responsibility for the outcomes. During your 5 a.m. routine, practice making decisions about your own life with speed and confidence. Don't overthink or procrastinate on important choices. Develop the habit of gathering the essential information, considering the potential outcomes, and then deciding quickly and moving forward with commitment. Another crucial leadership skill is communication. Leaders must be able to articulate their vision in a way that inspires others to take action. They must be able to listen deeply, ask powerful questions, and create meaningful connections with people from all walks of life. Use your morning routine to work on your communication skills. Practice expressing your ideas clearly and persuasively. Think about how you can better connect with the people in your life. Consider how you can be more present and attentive when others are speaking. Work on developing the emotional intelligence that allows you to understand and influence others in positive ways. The story of Winston Churchill provides a powerful example of how morning routines and leadership development work together. Despite facing significant challenges throughout his career, including periods of political exile and personal struggle, Churchill maintained a disciplined morning routine that included reading, writing, and strategic thinking. Churchill would wake up late by our standards, usually around 8 a.m., but he would immediately begin his morning routine of reading multiple newspapers, dictating correspondence, and working on his speeches and writings. He understood that a leader must be well-informed, articulate, and prepared to communicate effectively with others. What made Churchill's morning routine so powerful was his commitment to continuous learning and preparation. He was constantly studying history, politics, military strategy, and human nature. This extensive knowledge base allowed him to see patterns and possibilities that others missed, and to communicate complex ideas in ways that ordinary people could understand and embrace. Churchill's morning routine also included time for reflection and strategic thinking. He would consider the major challenges facing his country and think creatively about solutions. He would anticipate how opponents might respond to his initiatives and prepare counter-strategies. This preparation and foresight made him incredibly effective during times of crisis. During World War II, when Britain faced its darkest hour, Churchill's morning routine became even more important. He would use this time to maintain his morale, clarify his thinking, and prepare the inspirational communications that kept the British people motivated during incredibly difficult times. His morning routine was literally helping to save Western civilization. You can apply Churchill's approach in your own 5 a.m. routine. Spend time staying informed about your industry and the world around you. Think strategically about the challenges and opportunities you're facing. Prepare yourself to communicate effectively with others. Use this time to build the knowledge, wisdom, and perspective that will make you a more effective leader in whatever sphere you operate. The morning routine should also include what I call service meditation. This is time spent thinking about how you can serve others and make a positive contribution to the world. True leadership is always about service, and the most fulfilled and successful people are those who have found ways to use their talents and resources to help others. Ask yourself questions like, how can I use my unique abilities to solve problems and create value for others? What needs exist in my community or industry that I could help address? How can I use my success and influence to lift others up? What legacy do I want to leave behind? This service-oriented thinking keeps you connected to purposes larger than yourself and prevents you from becoming self-centered or complacent. As we continue building your complete 5 a.m. millionaire routine, we need to address the critical success factor that most people completely ignore: energy management. You can have all the knowledge, skills, and opportunities in the world, but if you don't have the physical and mental energy to execute consistently, you'll never achieve your potential. Energy management is more important than time management because you can have all the time in the world, but if you're tired, stressed, or mentally foggy, you won't be able to use that time effectively. High performers understand that their energy levels determine their ability to think clearly, make good decisions, stay motivated, and take consistent action toward their goals. Your 5 a.m. routine should be designed not just to help you accomplish more, but to give you more energy throughout the day. This requires understanding the 4 types of energy: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. Each type of energy affects the others, and you need to manage all 4 to achieve peak performance. Physical energy is the foundation of all the others. If your body is tired, sick, or stressed, it will be much harder to maintain positive emotions, clear thinking, and spiritual connection. Your morning routine should include elements that boost your physical energy: exercise, proper hydration, deep breathing, and healthy nutrition. But it's not just about what you do during your morning routine. It's also about how you live the rest of your life. Are you getting enough quality sleep? Are you eating foods that nourish your body, or foods that drain your energy? Are you managing stress effectively? Are you taking care of your physical health through regular exercise and medical checkups? Emotional energy is about your ability to maintain positive, productive emotional states throughout the day. This includes managing stress, staying motivated, handling disappointments and setbacks, and maintaining good relationships with others. Your morning routine should include practices that boost your emotional resilience and positivity: gratitude, affirmations, visualization, and spiritual connection. Mental energy is your ability to focus, think clearly, make good decisions, and solve problems effectively. This is perhaps the most important type of energy for achieving success in today's knowledge-based economy. Your morning routine should include practices that sharpen your mental faculties: reading, journaling, meditation, and strategic thinking. Spiritual energy is your connection to something larger than yourself, your sense of purpose and meaning, and your ability to maintain perspective during challenging times. This doesn't necessarily require religious belief, but it does require some form of practice that connects you to your deeper values and purposes. Your morning routine should include time for reflection, meditation, or prayer that nourishes your spiritual energy. The key to energy management is understanding that energy is renewable, but only if you manage it wisely. Unlike time, which is finite and can't be recovered once it's spent, energy can be restored and even increased through proper practices and habits. One of the most important energy management principles is what Tony Schwartz calls rhythmic renewal. This means alternating between periods of intense focus and activity and periods of rest and recovery. Your morning routine is part of this rhythmic renewal because it gives you a foundation of energy and focus that you can draw upon throughout the day. But you also need to build recovery periods into your daily schedule. This might include short breaks between intense work sessions, time for relaxation and enjoyment in the evening, and adequate sleep at night. Without these recovery periods, even the most powerful morning routine will eventually lose its effectiveness. Thomas Jefferson, one of the most productive and accomplished people in American history, understood the importance of energy management and rhythmic renewal. Jefferson would wake up early every morning and spend time reading, writing, and planning his day. But he also built regular periods of rest, recreation, and renewal into his schedule. Jefferson was known for taking long walks, playing music, spending time in his gardens, and engaging in stimulating conversations with friends and colleagues. He understood that these apparently non-productive activities were actually essential for maintaining the energy and creativity that made his productive work possible. Jefferson also had a fascinating approach to learning and personal development that every success-minded person should adopt. He was committed to lifelong learning and would spend time each morning reading in multiple areas: history, philosophy, science, literature, and current events. He understood that broad knowledge and diverse perspectives were essential for effective leadership and decision-making. You can apply Jefferson's approach in your own 5 a.m. routine. Spend time reading and learning in areas that interest you and that could contribute to your success. Don't limit yourself to just business or self-help books. Read biographies, history, science, philosophy, and literature. This broad education will give you perspectives and insights that most people lack, and it will make you a more interesting and influential person. The morning routine should also include what I call energy audit time. This is a few minutes spent honestly assessing your current energy levels and identifying what might be draining your energy unnecessarily. Are there people in your life who consistently leave you feeling drained or negative? Are there activities or commitments that don't align with your values or goals? Are there habits or behaviors that are sapping your physical, emotional, or mental energy? Once you identify these energy drains, you can begin to address them systematically. This might mean having difficult conversations with people who are negatively affecting your energy. It might mean saying no to commitments that don't serve your highest priorities. It might mean changing habits that are undermining your health and vitality. Remember, you have a finite amount of energy each day, and how you choose to invest that energy will determine the quality of your life and the magnitude of your achievements. Your 5 a.m. routine should be designed to maximize your energy and direct it toward your most important goals and values. At this point, I want to remind you that if you're finding value in this comprehensive guide to the 5 a.m. Millionaire routine, please make sure you're subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on. We're building a community of high achievers who are committed to excellence and continuous growth, and I want to make sure you don't miss any of the transformational content we're creating. Your subscription also helps us reach more people who are ready to take their lives to the next level. Now, let's explore the advanced productivity strategies that should be integrated into your 5 a.m. routine and carried throughout your day. Productivity isn't about being busy or working more hours. It's about achieving your most important objectives with the least amount of time and effort possible. It's about working smarter, not harder. The foundation of true productivity is clarity. You must be absolutely clear about what you want to achieve, why you want to achieve it, and what actions will move you closest to your goals. Without this clarity, you'll waste enormous amounts of time and energy on activities that don't actually matter. Your 5 a.m. routine should include what I call clarity creation time. This is when you review your long-term goals, identify your most important priorities for the day, and eliminate or delegate everything that doesn't directly contribute to your success. This process of ruthless prioritization is what separates high achievers from people who are always busy but never seem to make meaningful progress. Start by identifying your big three for the day. These are the 3 most important tasks that, if completed, would make the day a success regardless of what else does or doesn't get done. These tasks should be directly connected to your long-term goals and should move you significantly closer to your vision of success. Once you've identified your big 3, schedule them into your calendar during your highest energy periods. For most people, this means tackling the most important and challenging tasks in the morning when their mental energy is at its peak. Don't leave your most important work to chance or hope that you'll find time for it later in the day. The concept of eating the frog comes from Mark Twain's famous quote, "Eat a live frog first thing in the morning, and nothing worse will happen to you the rest of the day." In productivity terms, this means doing your most difficult or important task first, before you do anything else. This approach ensures that you make progress on what matters most, even if the rest of your day gets derailed by unexpected demands or distractions. But productivity isn't just about individual tasks. It's also about designing systems and processes that make success more automatic and efficient. During your morning routine, spend time thinking about how you can systematize and automate recurring activities in your life and work. For example, could you create templates for emails that you send frequently? Could you batch similar tasks together to minimize context switching? Could you delegate or outsource activities that don't require your unique skills and talents? Could you use technology to automate routine processes? These systems thinking approaches can free up enormous amounts of time and mental energy for your most important work. Another crucial productivity principle is what Cal Newport calls deep work. This is the ability to focus on cognitively demanding activities for extended periods without distraction. In our hyper-connected world, this skill has become both more rare and more valuable. People who can do deep work consistently will have enormous advantages over those who are constantly distracted by emails, social media, and other interruptions. Your 5 a.m. routine naturally supports deep work because you're awake before most distractions become active. Use this time not just for personal development, but also for your most important and challenging work projects. Whether you're writing, creating, planning, or problem-solving, the early morning hours provide an ideal environment for deep, focused work. To support deep work throughout the day, consider implementing what Newport calls batching strategies. Instead of checking email constantly throughout the day, check it only at designated times. Instead of taking meetings whenever people request them, batch your meetings into specific blocks. Instead of working on multiple projects simultaneously, focus on one project at a time until it's completed or reaches a natural stopping point. The story of Charles Darwin provides a fascinating example of how morning routines and productivity strategies work together to create extraordinary achievements. Darwin developed a highly structured daily routine that included early morning walks, dedicated writing time, and periods of both intense focus and deliberate rest. Darwin would wake up early and take a long walk around his property, which he called his thinking path. During these walks, he would reflect on his research, generate new ideas, and work through complex scientific problems. He understood that physical movement and time in nature enhanced his mental clarity and creativity. After his walk, Darwin would spend several hours in focused writing and research. He was incredibly disciplined about protecting this time from interruptions and distractions. He would work on his most important projects during his peak energy hours and save less demanding tasks for later in the day when his mental energy was lower. What made Darwin's approach so effective was his understanding that breakthrough insights rarely come from grinding harder, but rather from creating the optimal conditions for creative thinking. His morning routine provided the mental space and clarity necessary for the kind of deep, original thinking that produced revolutionary scientific discoveries. You can apply Darwin's approach in your own 5 a.m. routine and daily schedule. Create space for reflective thinking, whether through walking, meditation, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. Protect your peak energy hours for your most important and challenging work. Design your environment and schedule to minimize distractions and maximize focus. The morning routine should also include what I call systems thinking time. This is when you step back from the day-to-day details of your work and life and think strategically about the bigger picture. How can you improve the systems and processes that govern your success? What patterns do you notice in your results? What changes could you make that would have the biggest positive impact on your outcomes? This systems thinking approach prevents you from getting trapped in what Stephen Covey calls the thick of thin things. It's easy to get so focused on urgent tasks and immediate demands that you lose sight of what's truly important. The morning routine gives you the perspective and clarity necessary to stay focused on your highest priorities. As we near the end of our comprehensive exploration of the 5 a.m. Millionaire routine, let's discuss the long-term success strategies that will help you maintain and expand your progress over months and years, not just days and weeks. The most important long-term success strategy is what I call identity evolution. Your identity, your sense of who you are at the deepest level, must continue to expand as you achieve your goals and take on bigger challenges. The person who got you to your current level of success won't be the same person who can take you to the next level. During your 5 a.m. routine, Regularly spend time envisioning the person you need to become to achieve your next level of goals. What new skills, habits, and characteristics will this future version of yourself possess? What beliefs and mindsets will they hold? How will they approach challenges and opportunities differently than you do now? This identity evolution work prevents you from hitting what psychologists call upper limit problems. These are self-sabotage patterns that kick in when you start to achieve more success than your current identity believes you deserve. By continuously expanding your identity, you can continue growing without hitting internal resistance. Another crucial long-term strategy is building what I call success momentum. This is the compound effect of consistent daily actions that build upon each other over time. Each morning routine session makes the next one easier. Each day of disciplined action makes discipline more automatic. Each small win builds confidence for bigger challenges. To maintain this momentum, it's essential to track your progress and celebrate your achievements. Keep a success journal where you record your daily wins, no matter how small they might seem. Review your progress weekly and monthly. Acknowledge how far you've come and use that evidence to fuel your belief in what's possible going forward. But long-term success also requires what Nassim Taleb calls anti-fragility. This is the ability to not just survive setbacks and challenges, but to actually become stronger as a result of them. Your 5 a.m. routine should include practices that build this anti-fragility: mental rehearsal of challenges, gratitude for difficulties that have made you stronger, and reflection on how you can use current challenges as opportunities for growth. The story of Colonel Sanders provides a perfect example of anti-fragility and long-term persistence. Sanders didn't achieve his greatest success until he was in his 60s, after facing numerous business failures and personal setbacks. But instead of giving up, he used each failure as a learning experience and continued to refine his approach. Sanders maintained a disciplined daily routine that included early rising, strategic thinking, and persistent action toward his goals. When he finally developed his famous chicken recipe and restaurant concept, he was rejected by over 1,000 potential franchisees before finding someone willing to partner with him. His morning routine and persistent mindset enabled him to maintain faith in his vision, despite overwhelming evidence that it might never succeed. The lesson from Sanders' story is that long-term success often requires what Angela Duckworth calls grit. This is the combination of passion and perseverance for long-term goals. It's the ability to maintain effort and interest despite failures, adversity, and plateaus in progress. Your 5 a.m. routine builds this grit by strengthening your mental discipline and keeping you connected to your deepest motivations and purposes. Another essential long-term strategy is continuous learning and adaptation. The world is changing rapidly, and the strategies that work today might not work tomorrow. Your 5 a.m. routine should include time for staying informed about trends in your industry, learning new skills, and adapting your approach based on new information and changing circumstances. This doesn't mean you should constantly change your fundamental goals and values, but rather that you should be flexible about the methods and strategies you use to achieve them. As the famous saying goes, stay committed to your decisions, but stay flexible in your approach. The morning routine should also include what I call legacy thinking time. This is when you reflect on the long-term impact you want to have and the legacy you want to leave behind. How do you want to be remembered? What contribution do you want to make to the world? How can you use your success and influence to make a positive difference in the lives of others? This legacy thinking keeps you connected to purposes larger than yourself and prevents you from becoming self-centered or complacent as you achieve success. It also provides motivation during difficult times when the immediate rewards might seem insufficient to justify the effort required. The final historical example I want to share with you is the story of Leonardo da Vinci, perhaps the most creative and accomplished person in human history. Da Vinci understood that extraordinary achievement requires what he called ostinato rigore, which means obstinate rigor or relentless discipline. Da Vinci maintained incredibly disciplined daily routines that included early rising, physical exercise, artistic practice, scientific study, and philosophical reflection. He would spend hours each morning working on his art, conducting scientific experiments, and filling his famous notebooks with observations, ideas, and inventions. What made Da Vinci's morning routine so powerful was his commitment to what he called saper vedere, which means knowing how to see. He would spend time each morning training his powers of observation, looking deeply at the world around him, and asking questions that others never thought to ask. This disciplined attention to detail and commitment to continuous learning enabled him to make breakthrough discoveries in art, science, engineering, and numerous other fields. Da Vinci also understood that creativity and innovation require what he called sfumato, which means without lines, or like smoke. This is the ability to embrace ambiguity, paradox, and uncertainty. Instead of needing everything to be clear and defined, Da Vinci was comfortable with mystery and used it as fuel for his curiosity and creativity. You can apply Da Vinci's approach in your own 5 a.m. routine. Spend time observing the world around you with fresh eyes and childlike curiosity. Ask questions that others don't ask. Embrace uncertainty and ambiguity as opportunities for discovery rather than problems to be solved immediately. Maintain what Zen Buddhism calls beginner's mind, the attitude of openness and lack of preconceptions that allows for continuous learning and growth. As we conclude this comprehensive guide to the 5 a.m. Millionaire routine, I want to emphasize that this isn't just about changing your morning schedule. This is about transforming your entire life from the inside out. This is about becoming the type of person who naturally attracts success, wealth, and fulfillment. This is about developing the character, competence, and confidence that make extraordinary achievements not just possible, but inevitable. The 5 a.m. routine works because it addresses the root causes of success and failure, not just the symptoms. Instead of trying to change your results directly, it changes the person you are at the identity level. Instead of relying on motivation and willpower, it builds systems and habits that make success automatic. Instead of focusing only on external achievements, it develops the inner strength and wisdom that make those achievements meaningful and sustainable. Remember, every single morning at 5 a.m., you have a choice. You can choose to stay in bed and start your day reactively, responding to whatever demands and distractions come your way. Or you can choose to wake up and invest in becoming the person you're capable of becoming. You can choose to take control of your mind, your energy, and your direction before the world tries to control them for you. The 5 a.m. Millionaire routine isn't easy, especially in the beginning. It requires discipline, commitment, and the willingness to do what others won't do. But that's exactly why it works. Success isn't about doing what's easy and comfortable. Success is about consistently doing what's necessary and important, even when you don't feel like it. If you're committed to implementing this routine and transforming your life, I want to encourage you to start tomorrow morning. Don't wait for the perfect Monday or the first of the month or New Year's Day. Start tomorrow. Set your alarm for 5 a.m. tonight, and when it goes off, get up immediately and begin your transformation. And please, make sure you're subscribed to this channel because we're going to continue supporting you on this journey. We'll be sharing more strategies, answering questions, and providing the encouragement and accountability you need to maintain this life-changing routine. Your subscription helps us reach more people who are ready to wake up and win, and it ensures that you won't miss any of the powerful content we're creating. I also encourage you to share your progress and experiences in the comments section below. Tell us about your victories, your challenges, and the changes you're experiencing as a result of implementing the 5 a.m. routine. We're building a community of high achievers who support and inspire each other, and your story could be exactly what someone else needs to hear to take action and change their life. Remember, you have everything within you right now to create the life of your dreams. You have the intelligence, the creativity, the resilience, and the potential to achieve anything you're willing to commit to achieving. The 5 a.m. Millionaire routine simply provides the structure and consistency you need to access and develop these innate capabilities. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. The person you're capable of becoming is waiting for you to show up consistently and do the work of transformation. Every morning at 5 a.m. is an opportunity to move closer to that extraordinary version of yourself. The choice is yours. You can continue living the same way you've always lived and getting the same results you've always gotten. Or you can decide today that you're ready for something different, something better, something extraordinary. You can decide that you're ready to wake up and win. The 5 a.m. Millionaire routine isn't just a morning schedule, it's a philosophy of life. It's a commitment to excellence. It's a declaration that you refuse to settle for mediocrity when greatness is within your reach. It's your first step toward becoming disciplined in thought, clear in vision, strong in values, bold in action, unstoppable in growth, free in mind, rich in soul, and abundant in results. Your transformation begins tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Are you ready to wake up and win? Champions, your mind has been forged a little stronger today, but the real test isn't what you learned, it's what you do with it. Take action, dominate your day, and remember, we're not just building better thoughts, we're forging unstoppable lives. The forge doesn't stop, and neither do you. If this episode hit you where it counts, subscribe to Mental Forge Academy and join the Brotherhood of Champions who refuse to settle for ordinary. Go transform, strike while the mind is hot.